I'm gonna do. What is up, guys? We're back.
Do it in Spanish.
It's not in English. You're gonna struggle in Spanish. Right? We're back with another episode with my ex-roommate, my ex-lover, and one of my dearest friends, Adrian De Leon. Before we get into anything, bro, thank you so much for the setup. That you brought us.
Of course.
For setting up, you did everything. Thank you. How are you, first and foremost?
I'm good. Just yeah, it's gonna be fun, I think. But yeah, just been trying to have fun here.
Like the old kind of fun that we used to have?
Yeah, like the old kind of fun.
For those of you that don't know, well, I'll let you introduce yourself if you just want to give like a brief introduction, who you are, what you like to do, or what you do.
Yeah, so yeah, like my name is Adrian, Jorge's old roommate. We used to live together for what?
A year? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a year. Dirty ass apartment. I had a dog, old ass dog.
Responsibility.
Yeah, I had an old ass dog. Yeah, I mean, I mostly work with technology and stuff, so that's kind of like my career path is in technology and, you know, computers and routers and switches and networking and stuff like that. So I've been doing that for like 10 years, so it's basically what I do.
We'll get more into detail about the fucking little RV or what, the car that you made for your...
Oh, yeah.
Into all your inventions.
Yeah, I do. I've been getting into inventions lately, so yeah.
I honestly, and I don't say this just to say this, but I don't think I know anyone like smarter and with so much information and such like a wide array of different topics.
Yeah.
Than you. So I'm excited to have you on.
Yeah, just tinkerer, really. Yeah, tinkerer mindset.
Have you been like that since a child?
I've always wanted to. It's just that, I guess like what started it for me was actually just working, getting money. You know, like having the money, disposable income to buy things, like to try it, because like it's really hard when you like, you know, especially like when I was in college or like even after when I was really starting out working, like you don't have money to go buy like just random like jumper cable wires or like, you know, junkyard parts or whatever, you know, like to make whatever idea you want to make. So yeah, having more income definitely helped me out on that. Yeah.
What were your first jobs that you were like using your brain power, so to speak, to make money?
So yeah, I used to work, so I mean I'm from Laredo as well, right?
So 956.
Yeah, Laredo. Once I left Laredo, that's when I was able to start, you know, working like my brain, I guess, in a way. Because being in Laredo, I mean, I was getting $14 an hour doing what I do today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and now, like, obviously the salaries jumped up astronomically, but there's no way someone in Laredo, like, I used to work at Gateway Community Health Center. There's no way, like, they would pay me what I'm getting paid right now to do the same things that they do. Like, I'm sure they're still paying people $16, $15 an hour, yeah. So once I was able to kind of leave that area and spread my wings, so to speak, yeah, it was a lot easier. Definitely Austin has helped, like the work culture in Austin and how they want your employees to, you know, grow, helps a lot, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of people. Like, you have to leave Laredo to...
Yeah, it's just the mindset in Laredo's like, this is what you're going to do every day for the next 30 years. It's like such an old mindset that like, I mean, some people like it though, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. So we're going to go into so many topics because you're someone that I feel like I can pick your brain about anything and everything.
Right.
You'll know. But for entertainment purposes, the last podcast we recorded where I got into all these rants and all these topics that
I kind of and sorry to cut you off, but like I feel like at some points you were saying things that like you weren't even speaking it, but you're already like you weren't even saying anything, but you're already defending yourself, which is kind of weird. Like you're like there's one point where you're like, if you call me racist, homophobic, whatever, then that means you don't know me. But you didn't say anything. I was like, what did you say? That was like
I guess because I didn't want to go after one person specifically.
Yeah.
But like I had been posting stories and stuff like that. And not that they were like, oh, you're homophobic.
Right.
But that was one of the defense used against me. Like, if you're supporting this, it's because
you're a homophobe or whatever.
Or at least you're not aware of what these people are going through, which I disagree. But
well, I just want to preface by saying that's actually one of the arguments about like, and I'm not, and we won't really go into like the whole politics deal, but that's one of the arguments about why people hate Democrats a lot or people on the left is because they're. But I mean, it depends on where you stand, right? I mean, that's how it is. But like, it's like whatever team you're on, kind of like determines, kind of what words can be used against what. But like, a lot of people that aren't really Republican or fit in that Republican scheme, like I think you would be one of those people. Like you're not really like for like religion taking over the state or something like that. I mean, just an example. I mean, it's not something that, but that'd be something that Republicans might go for.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fit that mold, but you're left in the middle where it's like you have one side just basically saying like, oh, this is basically what you are then if you're not gonna come over here, and so like you get kind of like fuck that, I'm just gonna go stay over here to these guys then because like they haven't been telling me stuff like that, so yeah, you're not the only person that that feels like that, kind of like ousted or exiled.
Yeah, that's a very good summary of how it feels nowadays. But just to preface it even more, when we recorded the last podcast that you texted me, like, motherfucker, why are you screaming all this shit? But when you told me like, oh, I have so many counterpoints against what you're saying.
Right.
One, from that year we lived together, like, at least from my perspective, there were so many conversations where like we disagreed on things, but the way you carry yourself and the person you are, it's so easy to like openly discuss,
right?
And in a way, argument in my favor or in your favor, and respectfully be like, "Well, you're a fucking idiot,"
right?
So that was one. Because when it comes to politics, the only thing that makes sense to me that I can describe it is like, for example, in sports, I grew up being a fan of Peyton Manning and Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant played his whole career with the Lakers.
Oh, he was with the Lakers? I thought he was with the Cavs.
Shut the fuck up. It's about to get me all around. But like, for example, Peyton Manning, while he played in the Colts, like, I was a Colts fan and I like defended the jersey, and as soon as he left, I was like, okay, well, I'm a Broncos. And it kind of feels like that with RFK specifically. Like, that's the character that I feel called to, or like that resonates with me. I don't care for like Democrat or Republican.
Right. Yeah, and well, that was kind of like what I've wanted to ask you, really, and we can go, and that's what I wanted to go in more detail about was like, what is it that I guess RFK Jr. would bring for you, like in terms of making a healthier America? Like what I guess like what policies or procedure or processes or whatever you might that he said that convinced you that.
Because he's jacked, bro. That's all we need. We just need someone that's jacked. No, I'm kidding. Again, I'm a little bit nervous because intellectually, like, we are in different brackets. Have nothing to.
No, but I mean, even something as simple, like, even I might agree with it, right? Like, if it's like reasonable.
No, I say that because, like, in terms of policies themselves, like names and like all these things.
No, but you don't. I mean, just basic. He's gonna.
No, that I can answer.
Filter water twice or something. I don't know. I'm very curious because I don't personally know what because I've never followed RFK. I didn't even know who the fucking guy was until I knew he was Bobby Kennedy's son, but I never knew. He's never been to this status of who we know who he is, until this year. So.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like, yeah, bro, I've been Bobby Kennedy Jr. since the get-go.
Yeah.
Like, when I found out about him because, like, podcasters that I listen to.
Yeah.
Jack Cruz, specifically Aubrey Marcus. But since I found out about him, to start off with, like, his track record, like, he's the only person I know within politics. I always get the name wrong, but the biggest producer of glyphosate, Montesano. I think that's the name, Montesano, or it's Monsanto.
Oh, you're talking about the pharmaceutical company.
No, these are producers of glyphosate. So like the chemicals that they spray on.
Yeah, those are their drug companies.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about Montecito, I think is the name.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. We'll
should
look it
know
up
the name.
later.
Yeah. But he's actually like fought against them legally.
They're the ones that do like kind of like pet. They can do some pesticides.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
To start off that, like going against those big like agriculture, pharmaceutical, and fighting against them for the sake of environmental issues and health issues.
Right.
First and foremost. Second, I know he's a big proponent of not being in favor or against vaccines, but just more transparency and like deeper research into the vaccine development process. For me, like the fact that, and again, I don't know the name or like what legislation passed it, but from what I've heard, like vaccine producers have like full immunity, meaning that if you get a side effect from vaccines, like you can't legally go after them. From what I understand.
Well, I mean, you can, but it's very. I mean, it's basically a lawsuit. That's your only legal.
But there's supposed to be like some protection
remediation
from any lawsuit, from what I understand.
I mean, it's very hard to prove. I agree with this because the only opportunity, there's been plenty of lawsuits against companies like that produce pesticides, or like what was the name of the company that I forgot their name. They were like, there's a big deal where they got, or even opioid companies that have been sued for like billions of dollars. The only way for that to happen though is basically a class action lawsuit. Like you'd have to have tons of people like that have those side effects, and it's very hard to prove, right? Like let's say you take a vaccine or medicine or whatever, and you go through like, I mean, let's say like it's proven to give you a heart attack, but you're the only person it happened to. It's gonna be almost impossible for you to sue that company. Okay. Yeah. Like it's very, there's no litigation against pharmaceutical companies when they could even prove it like to be like, oh well, yeah, he took it and it caused this, but that's because he had a heart condition or whatever. Like it's like really hard to I mean, it's hard to win.
Which I don't want to get sidetracked too early.
Right.
But like, for example, no, but because like when it comes to vaccines, I know people have different opinions, but I feel like just for example, something like hepatitis B, that like 1 day old, like newborn babies are getting injected with it. And like, from my understanding, the only way to contract hepatitis B is from like sexually or from needles.
Hepatitis B?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get it, it can be transferred orally.
Can it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, again, and I wish we had the able to like fact check at least what I'm saying.
Right.
But those are the things that I've heard. Like, for example, something like hepatitis B that is almost impossible for a baby, like 1 day old, to contract. They're getting that vaccine, which to me just logically doesn't seem like.
Hepatitis B vaccination though is for, there's many types of hepatitis B variants and stuff. Okay. So like, and even in the body, we have what they call I don't know if it's called retroviruses or novel viruses. I forget the term, but like for instance, we all have like men, most like 99% of men probably have herpes inactivated viruses in their body currently. Okay. Yeah, so it's just protection against something that could possibly arise off of because it can be transferred, like HIV for instance can be transferred to the baby. Even, I mean, that's a sexual disease, but a baby could get it. Okay. Yeah. So that's like vaccinating babies for HIV and stuff like that would be something to prevent it like that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, even like within vaccines, I don't know enough to counter argue that. Just like from an instinctual level, or from what I want to believe, it's like I want to believe that we come in with like certain immunity, and yes, there's risk, but to go back to the point, just having clearer and more upfront communication on like the development of vaccines, I feel like would be a benefit for all.
What you're talking about is the socialization of medicine.
Elaborate on that, because it sounds fucking smart. And
well, what I'm saying is that you're talking about a public's sway on pharmaceutical companies when they're private. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about like nationalizing in a way corporations
Well-
that develop vaccines and stuff and medicines to be able to find out what they're actually doing in the background. So,
Yeah, 100%. If that's what you call it, then yes.
yeah,
Because that's why specifically I wanted to preface, because like for example, that argument for me comes from what I had heard or read about like certain vaccine developers having full immunity.
right.
So if they're gonna have full immunity, I feel like the whole process should be more transparent and open.
Yeah, and that's one of the arguments that so from like, and he's not even confirmed. Like this is like he might even just be a temporary thing. It depends on the Senate, but
RFK?
yeah, like he's just nominated. He could be a recess appointment, but if the Senate comes back in the next session and says we don't want this guy or whatever, they can still boot him out. So he's not going to be there for 4 years or whatever.
Okay.
It could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 3. Whenever the Senate comes back, basically.
Another thing, that I had no idea, and if
Yeah.
it wasn't for you, I'd probably put it in a note.
So that's why I think that people are like getting kind of crazy on these cabinet picks, because they're recess appointments, and yeah, that's kind of scary. Not that it's scary, but like basically because Senate's not in session, Trump can appoint these people. And first of all, Trump's going to become president on January 20th, right? So there's still like almost 2 months. And then by the time that happens, I don't know when Senate's going to come back, maybe in February or something like that point. They can definitely be like, that whatever you nominated, we don't want that guy. Or that person too, we don't want that guy. And then at that point, Trump's cabinet picks will have to go through the Senate, any future ones.
And is that based on votes or like we don't want that guy? Like,
so yeah, it's like, it'll be like since Republicans control the House or the Senate rather, and the House really. But so they'd have to get some Democrats would have to get some Republicans to join them on the side and say we don't want that pick to pass, basically, which is possible, because there's a lot of picks that they might not like Republicans themselves. So
okay,
yeah.
I might look like an idiot, but you sound so smart right now. It's fucking sexy. And for example, going back to the topic,
Yeah.
like he's been very vocal about doing, and again, I feel like that you just mentioned, the whole process happens with all these bigger powers. Like, yes,
It's big pharma.
yeah, big pharma, big agriculture, big food. Ultimately, like there's a lot of powers that it's not just like one guy being like, oh, I want to change this, and it happens overnight. But at least for me, like it's the first time that I see someone even speaking about it and like pushing, getting all these chemicals from food products. And, like you have the same food product in Europe and you have it here, and like the chemicals that are used here are not being used, and they can be linked, not that it necessarily causes it,
Right.
but it can be linked to like autism or a bunch of disorders.
Right.
And I think that's also like something that is important.
Yeah, and I think I would agree on a lot of those, especially like with big pharma and stuff. I think there has to be like, it's not fair for these companies to operate like if they're like Facebook, right? I mean, that's basically what they are. Like, they're private companies. We cannot, we don't get to see what they're doing. Everything they do is the same way as any other company. Everything they would do is for profit. They're not doing things out of the good of their heart, and it's medicine, right? It's not like, okay, maybe if Facebook was doing it, whatever, right? Like they're like, oh yeah, we're not censoring certain individuals, or we're going to censor certain individuals because they don't bring us revenue or something like that, right? But like, it's crazy that like a pharmaceutical company would do that for, it's for the health of, the world, basically. And I would agree on that. I would agree on like, especially, processed foods, pre-processed foods, like you mentioned, I'm guessing additives and stuff like that you're talking about. I would agree on that too, but there's a reason why they don't do that, and it's because it's going to cost a lot of money. Yeah. And that would make food skyrocket. If people were complaining about inflation right now, like that would make food probably go up. I don't know how much. You probably know more about like what's the difference between like getting meat at HEB versus the
Oh yeah, it's so much more expensive.
Yeah.
But like even within that topic, like the government has subsidies over wheat, corn, and soy, which is gives out subsidies, which is like used for all these processed foods. So from like, and I guess I'm setting this up as a question, like from a financial environmental and health standpoint, to me, without knowing as much as you, like it would be so much more valuable for everyone if those subsidies shifted from those like monocropping, which is horrible for the environment, to these like regenerative agricultural practices, which I believe like RFK has talked about. But again, it would mean a substantial loss for like big food companies.
Yeah.
But like, for example, I was telling you, I work at the farmer's market. We sell regenerative agriculture, beef, chicken, and pork.
Yeah.
It's so much more expensive, but because for the local farmer, it's expensive to like feed that cow. And so, for example, just that like subsidies, if it was placed differently, like people's health and the environment would change drastically.
I think, yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, but again, it's something that's never going to happen, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. It again, it goes back to just like, I've been a big proponent on like things that are too big to fail. Like that was his thing that was said like during Hillary Clinton's run as president when she was trying to attack the banks and stuff. It's just, I mean, we've seen it, like companies that even if, like for instance, George Bush, 2007, 2008 housing crash, right? Even the president that believes that there should be no government regulation in the free market bailed out all these insurance companies. AIG bailed out the big Goldman Sachs, bailed out so many big banks and stuff. Even running on like, I'll never regulate or have government affect the free market. He did it himself. So it's like these companies prop America up so much and they give so much money out to so many people that I've already come to the point where I don't believe anything substantial will ever happen to these people. Like they are going to be immune forever from everything.
Damn, that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Because I was going to say like in that bailout, you know much more, but like not everyone got bailed out.
No, not every company got bailed out. No.
What determines?
Like Bear Stearns, for example, didn't get bailed. They went bankrupt.
What determines?
What determined it really was just how much leverage they had in something. So like Goldman Sachs, for instance, was way over leveraged, like to the point where like there was not even enough money in America for them to pay out what they bet on, when it came to like the CDOs and stuff. So the whole market crashed, and they basically were like, well, we can't even go bankrupt because we were like 300 times in the hole of like our company's worth. So, and they propped up so many businesses. So they were like, okay, well, no, it was the companies that didn't get too greedy, but were a little bit greedy, that didn't get any bailout because they had enough to cover their losses. Yeah.
Was that like leverage due to corruption?
Mostly greed. Yeah. Mostly greed. Mostly like people trying to give them free money. Like what they assumed was free money. Because like people were, I mean, have you seen The Big Short?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
So people were betting on the market to crash. And for the banks, that was like unheard of. Like that's the dumbest bet you could ever make. Because if people don't pay for their mortgages, then they're not going to have anywhere to live. So why the fuck would anybody do that?
Yeah.
But like it wasn't a matter of them not wanting to pay. It's just they couldn't pay, right? So people were betting, like there was a lot of banks and a lot of other people were betting on that. Like it's just not Goldman Sachs, not just like Big Short characters, but like other big banks themselves. Like for instance, like a Wells Fargo would make bets that the housing market would crash as well, shorting the market as well. And so everyone was getting involved into it. And then Goldman Sachs and other big banks like Bear Stearns and other, I'm trying to think of another bank, but they would all were like, wait, you're going to give me $10 billion to short the market, like a housing market? Like, yeah, we'll take that. And then, I mean, it went to zero, dude. Like they owed so much money. They couldn't even pay out what they owed sometimes.
Isn't it so fucked that like a lot of people suffered through that crisis and they just got bailed out?
Yeah, it sucks.
How, like, okay, from a like just human, like morally perspective.
Right, exactly.
How do you like, because right now that we're talking about like the agriculture and pharmaceutical and you say like, that's not going to change.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's depressing.
It is.
How do you handle it?
you just kind of ignore it after a while. Like I've been to like, I was a huge, for instance, I'm not so much anymore because I feel like it's really idealistic, but I used to be a big, like, you know, Bernie bro back in the day. And everything he said, I mean, it was, you know, I think it was a lot of stuff he would probably say right now that you'd agree with, you know,
Okay.
and it's just, you know, you look at it and you're just like, man, I like, it's so like utopia level thinking, but it's just not gonna happen. Like, there's just too many people relying on the system already. It's already a system that's ingrained in America for many, many, many years already at this point. And it's just all it all started for greed, you know, for creating the most profit you can make. And
Not to sound like an anarchist, but that system is rigged for like a very small percentage. Would you agree?
Yes.
Like if the larger percentage were to say we've had enough, like do you think there's anything we could do to?
I mean, I feel like because of what we live in, like, you know, this is a beautiful home that you live in as well.
Thank you.
People are just way complacent. They'd rather live here than living like in a Mexico lifestyle or like a Venezuelan's lifestyle or whatever, you know? So living in America and then having what you have, even though it might not seem like a lot, is way more than most countries.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna be like a massive revolt because, you know, hey, the chicken's going from $2.50 to $3. You know, it's just not gonna happen. Like, if it got to where the point where like it was like just bad, you know, maybe, but realistically, people are doing pretty good for being an American. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is like an internal conflict because it's like.
Do you want to make the country that you live in shit? You know, like that's.
No, but also like it's like my social media, bro. I have like 1,000 followers, so it's not like I'm a huge public figure. But I know like this country has given me so many opportunities,
Yeah.
blessings, freedom, and not a lot of people have. But there's this part of me which sees like kind of like a trade and like, hey, here, you'll be comfortable, we'll give you this, but in the back end we're fucking you with like the pesticides, the chemicals, and we're gonna sell you pharmaceuticals. And not to get too darker, but I do want to hear your perspective. Like, for example, I don't know, I feel it, and with all due respect to like our friends and the family, but like I feel it's kind of unfair to say because there's so many things that go into it, but I feel like we lost Albert partly to like this whole system. My grandfather too, like just that comfort, that commodity, like made us be blinded to all these other things, and the consequences or side effects of that are pretty shitty. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, what you're saying is that because there's not like there's still a struggle. Is that, I guess that's what you're saying? Yeah, there's still like, but it the struggle's so minor, but like when you don't have like, I guess that big picture, or I'm trying to think of a way to word it, but I see what you're saying. Like you're so comfortable in the world that anytime something happens that dashes your dreams or something, or, you know, kind of like,
I just feel like America specifically is like very superficial and ego driven.
you're right.
In general, and this is my philosophy on life. Like I feel like our spirit, our soul, whatever you want to call it, is like the real reason why we're here. And I feel like what they feed us is to like what's the word that I'm looking for?
Kind of like a sheep or a cow, kind of.
Like it feels like they're giving us what we need to like have the ego taken care of, and we neglect the other like more spirit or spiritual aspect of life.
Well, I think I would agree on that, but not so much as a spiritual way, but more of like just a human biological way, where I think humans, I mean, they're meant to roam in a way, like, you know, I mean, I'm just talking about evolutionary wise, like humans back in the, you know, think of like Aztecs or the Mayans, right? Like these guys, you know, were able to, they weren't living to work. That's basically what I guess what you're trying to say. Yeah, they were living to live, you know, Like,
and it was in community. Like
right.
there was more aspects that I think is what makes life beautiful.
Yeah. I agree. Like, to be in America though, you have to work, right? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
So it's really hard to get into a mindset of being on the grind 24/7.
Well, you have to work, but then I see motherfuckers like you in tech and all this shit that like, which I do want to ask you and go into later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm gonna pause real quick to
Turn the lights. Yeah. Yep.
We're gonna take a quick little break. Do you need anything, bro?
Nah, I'm good.
And we're back. Is that too bright? It's fucking loud. So it's a perfect segue because we're lighting our podcast studio with incandescent light bulbs, which is another thing that kind of you were talking about biological needs right now, and I feel like I can mesh it with political legislation, which is also like the frustration or the concern for a lot of people. If that makes sense. Does that make sense at all or no?
No, I didn't kind of. So you're trying to say like, what are you trying to say about you or about the general?
No,
public?
so for example, like, it started during Obama's term, and then it passed with Biden. But basically, incandescent light bulbs are gonna be like banned, or you can't. You're not gonna be able to access them by 2026 or 2028, something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard that one.
But yeah, so by like at the surface level, it's like, oh, well, who gives a fuck? It's like incandescent, and but if we go deeper into it, like all the biological and physiological implications that it has, and how it manifests, like I think it's opening up another rabbit hole that I would love to go into if you're into it.
But there's no difference between an LED light and a
There isn't.
No, there isn't.
There is.
It's both. It's all electric and voltage and copper wiring and.
So you might destroy me intellectually, but what I know is incandescent light bulbs contain blue light, infrared light, and a little bit of ultraviolet light. And if you look at an LED light bulb, it's pure blue light.
But how?
That is beyond my scope.
But I'm thinking like in terms of just like physics in general, like you mentioned, the incandescent light bulb contains like basically RGB, red, green, blue spectrum of light. But that's all light is, even from the sun. Yeah,
but you can isolate. So I'm glad you bring that up. So like for example, in nature, in the sunlight, you have infrared light.
Yeah, that's what you said, infrared.
You have near and red infrared light.
Yeah.
You have UVA. UVB. You have blue light, and I think there's other spectrums that aren't visible to the eye.
But that's all light is.
Okay, so my point with that is that, for example, here, even though it's artificial, you have multiple colors in this light bulb. In LED light bulb, it's blue light, like isolated. No infrared, no UV, no other light than blue light.
But there's UV in LED light bulbs.
There's not. From my understanding, there's not.
Well, there definitely is. They use it all the time.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Can we Google that real quick?
Yeah.
Jamie, pull that. Check if.
I mean, there's literally UV LED lights. That's what I meant to say, like for medical purposes. But I like that have higher amounts of UV because that's what they use it for.
So from.
But I don't. I mean, I'm looking UV LED and it like. Or I guess you gotta put like LED spectrum, light spectrum or something.
Or I guess. Well, yeah, I was gonna ask if to put like is there UV and blue light, but or an LED light. My bad. If y'all hear any background noise, it's because my beautiful mother is cooking up some delicious meals for Meals with Purpose, which Adrian is actually one of our best customers. So thank you for that too.
Like I wouldn't know exact. I mean, I guess I could do LED versus incandescent light bulb. Let's see what the fuck that comes up with.
I can almost no. I've done my research on this. I just get intimidated by your intelligence and your looks.
But like I guess so. What would be the difference between? And I guess I'll ask while I'm looking this up. What would be your difference between an incandescent light bulb then and let's say a source of fire?
Even the source of fire is a much natural, better source, and it contains.
It's going to contain all the same things that an incandescent light bulb contains.
Yeah, but the blue light is going to be much less. Like if you look at the spectrum, and they sell spectrometers, which are really expensive, but I do want to get one.
And you're going to be like, whoa, what the fuck? Why does my fucking LED lights have all this other stuff that I didn't know it was going to have?
No, motherfucker. No.
Why am I wrong? This is not true.
No, like if you look at a LED light through a spectrometer, like you're going to see blue light really fucking high, like peaking, which you'll never see in nature. Like all these different spectrums like kind of complement each other. But I'm glad we're talking about this.
I mean, I just don't. I'll look it up for sure, and but like for me, from like my point of view, in terms of just thinking about light in general, you can't change it.
But you can. Like that's how LED light came about. The best way I can explain it for my
LED lights are basically how. Okay, so an incandescent light bulb works by heating up the two. I don't know what kind of tubes they are, but I mean, you could see them. Those are just heated up. Like, it's just heat from voltage. Whereas the LED light is...
It's cool.
It creates photons through... I forgot which one, but it's just a different way of making light. It's not like...
But even, like, there's a full spectrum of light and different colors.
Yeah.
You can isolate one. You can, like, take one out and just pop it into like an LED light through much more scientific terms that you're a lot better at.
So again, incandescent light bulbs heat a filament, that's what it's called, filament, to produce heat, light and heat, while LEDs use an electric current to create photons or visible light. But it doesn't say
well, it's because infrared light is heat.
Here is one difference. But LEDs can do it too. Incandescent lights are different, that they produce diffuse light, while LEDs produce direct light. However, LEDs can be manipulated to produce diffuse light as well. But I don't know what I wouldn't know. I would have to like look at it because I don't know much about what you're just talking about here.
Okay, so again, it's hard to explain things to you because you're so intimidating with your high intellectual and your sexy looks. But for example, the wavelengths or the frequencies that I know are near and far infrared.
Is this going back to? I'm sorry, by the way. Is this going back to like blue light affecting mitochondria or whatever you?
Or among other things, yes. And I feel like you have an argument. So
I don't have an argument against it. I just think it's funny because like mitochondria is so fucking. It's not useless, but it's like.
How are you gonna say it's useless?
It's literally. It's just for cells, man.
In what way?
Like one cell can die and that's fine.
Oh yeah. So from what I know about mitochondrial health, is that like there's an 80% buffer zone. So like you could be functioning.
The mitochondria is such a simple, complex, or
it's complex.
It's but the way the parts in it are so simple. It's like what, 3 parts, maybe 4 or 5. I forget.
Do you know what they are?
I mean, there's like the nucleus. There's the
cytoplasms.
There's something in what's the thing that protects the mitochondria?
Membrane.
Yeah, the membrane. Yeah. There's I don't know. It's like 5th grade.
You're fucking dumb, bro. I'm schooling you right now.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, we can go into that.
I mean, I don't know much about like The mitochondria, man. That's like...
This is a whole topic for me because it's like, you're fucking smart. Like, you're a genius in my eyes.
Yeah.
And this information to me is like so important, yet it's not commonly known. And I wonder why.
You're talking about the mitochondria?
And just light.
Yeah.
Like, so many of our functions and process are tied to light, which, going back to your point of evolution, like, it only makes sense because if there's been one constant thing throughout, like, our whole evolution, it's been, like, the sun and the moon, like, light and darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, obviously, we evolved to, like, work around that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I agree that... I mean, I've seen your posts about sunlight. I agree that there's probably some health benefits to being...
No, not probably, motherfucker. There is.
No.
I'm joking.
I don't know. But, like, if someone was to tell me that and they're, like, a scientist or some shit, or a doctor or whatever, and I think doctors have... I mean, what is the source of vitamin D, right? It's sunlight, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I would totally agree on that.
And I think that's where...
Yeah.
Like, for example, incandescent light bulbs, they're...
But I don't believe in that because you're just arguing... a light source versus a light source versus, like, you're saying fire is better than an incandescent light bulb?
In terms of health, yeah. Maybe not lighting, but in terms of...
It's the same thing.
It's not.
It literally is.
It's not. Like, even though it might emit the same colors, like, not the frequency, not the strength, the fucking level at which it emits it is completely different.
I mean, I don't know. I have to look it up, but yeah, in my eyes, I feel like if I was to look it up, it would just tell me that an incandescent light bulb is just a way to make light.
Yeah, but okay, so to that point, I would argue, like, if we're talking about lighting in of itself, like, what's the difference between sunlight and LED light?
There isn't.
But there is. Biologically speaking.
I mean, I would say that the sun probably emits more UV
and infrared.
LED. Yeah, but it's not to say that you can't make an LED do that.
Maybe you can. So what?
It would be impossible. But I'm just saying. I'm saying because the sun's energy is far greater than any light source that we could ever create on Earth right now. At the moment.
Amen,
so
brother.
I'm just. But I'm just saying that you could. If you wanted to create a light that emitted more UV or emitted more infrared, it's done. It's
100%.
Yeah.
But so I think that's a beauty of nature, and like, so for example.
So like, I guess we should start a company that creates natural LED lights that we've done in a spectrometer that could raise UV and blue light. And
there's circadian light bulbs that are like $40 a pop.
Damn.
Yeah.
I need to get into this.
Yeah. You should. And if anyone fucking gets their mind around it and does something, it's fucking you. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. But
and I don't even believe in it. Just sell it.
No, I'll make you believe in it.
I'll just have you in the front. I'll be in the back.
I'm the fucking Jehovah's Witness of natural light.
Yeah.
But one way that it makes sense to me is, like, for example, let's take an apple, right? Mm-hmm. An apple naturally contains sugar, glucose.
Right.
And it also contains fibers and vitamins and minerals.
But let me ask you this. Let me just side point on that. Would you consider glucose created in the lab the same to be as the glucose created in an apple?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. So that same glucose molecule, like with the fiber and with the vitamins and the minerals, your body absorbs and assimilates in a completely different way to glucose isolated, created in the lab.
It's not true.
It is though.
It's not true.
It is.
Your kidneys will still take that glucose and pee it out.
But, well, not necessarily. Like, it can spike your blood sugars.
Right.
Which, for example, like, if you have...
But what you're saying is that because a combination of what the ingredients of the apple have won't cause your body to react, let's say, as a simple... I mean, I could agree with that. But I think that if you were to take an extract of glucose from the apple itself...
Okay, but to that argument, I would say you can't do that. Like, if you eat an apple, you're not eating only the glucose.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
And that's what the point I'm trying to make. That's a beauty of nature. That, like, when you isolate one thing by itself, then it can become problematic.
Right.
But together, it creates this like perfect harmony.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with light.
Dude, I'm sorry. I just...
No, laugh in my face. It's okay. It's not like I'm going to cry later.
No, just kidding.
No, I'm joking. No, but this is a banter that we
Yeah,
can...
yeah.
So,
I'm only laughing because...
But don't apologize because you're an asshole like this. I don't want you to switch up for the cameras. This is how you are. Stand by it, motherfucker.
I was just laughing because the fact that you compared... I guess I kind of get your point. You're saying something...
Nah, don't fucking backtrack, bitch.
No, I'm not backtracking. I'm understanding you. Like when you said the apple is natural,
mm-hmm.
You're saying that something that is already in existence can provide without the bad things happening if you just isolated it itself.
Exactly.
Like you're talking about, and then you're comparing it to a light bulb, right?
So just one example, and you can research it because I know you're not going to believe shit I say. But like LED light bulbs are constant. Like the fucking level that they emit or the frequency that they emit is constant. In nature, that doesn't happen. Like let's say it's you measure in watts or like in nature, blue light starts emitting at sunrise.
Right.
Why? Because Alright, so we had some technical difficulties. We're back. Where was it?
You said something about the cortisol levels of blue light and how it's not frequent.
Oh yeah, so blue light, I see your fucking smirk. Blue light, it starts at cortisol production. So in the morning we need blue light.
You're talking about the hormone?
Yeah. So cortisol elevates our heart rate, our blood pressure, elevates our alertness.
So we wake up.
So blue light is emitted at sunrise.
But why a light shining in your eyes not gonna wake you up?
If it's artificial, it has a much different effect than natural, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Like the level of blue light slowly increases over time up until noon, and then it decreases until sunset. When there should be no blue light, your cortisol level should drop, so melatonin is produced. Because cortisol and melatonin have like an antagonist relationship. So blue light is like
catalyst.
It regulates your cortisol production and your melatonin production. So if you look at sunlight, blue light slowly increases up until noon, and then it decreases. If you look at an LED light bulb, or if you look at your phone, or if you look at your TV, like it's just a constant hit of blue light, which your eyes, your brains, and your hormones, your brain and your hormones are not evolved to receive that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably something to look there, but I think a lot of it, from what I understood, from when I read about it a long time ago, a lot of it's kind of like logically jumping the gun in a way. But I think blue light, there's definitely needs to be more study on, I guess.
So from what I know,
because there's not this, what you're labeling is like, is there even studies for this, or is it just okay?
Yeah, and it's studies revolving around like the melanopsin receptors in our eyes.
Okay.
Which are connected or tied to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is what's known as the circadian clock in the brain.
Yeah. So why is this so important to you though?
Because for me, what it does hormonally, like biologically, and like what the effects it has, is what I think has affected a lot of my people and myself without them knowing. Like I feel like so many people suffer from just like these quote unquote symptoms that they aren't even aware of what is affecting them. Does that make sense?
But like, would I be a first-hand experience? Because I'm blue lighted the hell up.
I do think so.
But I don't feel any different type of way.
I've thought about this. I've never really voiced it to you because it's not my fucking place. But like, you are one of the smartest people I know. Like intellectually, you are fucking impressive. I wonder, like, what other capacities or what other attributes, like, would be
increased.
Yeah, increased. Yeah.
Yeah. I blue lighted up.
Yeah, I know you. I lived with you for a year. It was, shout out to Diego. Bro, we've had so many technical difficulties.
Really? With what?
Yeah.
That shit stopped recording, so we had to like record 2 videos. Hopefully the first one recorded, because it turned off.
But if it's fully charged?
Well, I know.
Chingo.
But anyways, there would be nights where like I would wake up to piss at 4 in the morning, and you were on your computer playing video games and shit.
Yeah.
My only concern, and I'm saying it not because you're asking me, but like, is that down the road, like maybe none of your attributes or like your what makes you so special and unique is affected, but rather the time that you get to enjoy those attributes and share them with the world.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think blue light would be the death of me. I don't think it's blue light. I think it's a lot of other things that I probably need to cut out of my life before I cut out blue light. I don't think blue light is gonna answer a lot of my questions.
I do think it will. And if you would allow me to, we can get into it.
No.
Are you scared?
No, I'm not scared. Like I literally, yeah, I am. Because it would destroy my lifestyle. You know.
Can we talk about that? Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
So can you describe that lifestyle first and foremost?
Just on my computer 24/7. That's it.
And when you say that you're afraid like it'll destroy your lifestyle, like what does that bring you nowadays? Like what does that mean to you or why?
Oh, it's just like it's what I enjoy. I mean, it's basically like not even just my career, it's also like what I like to do, you know? Like again, with going into like the tinkering of like stuff or reading about things or learning about things, like that's what I like doing. And if that was to like be limited for me, then I don't know. Like I wouldn't be happy for sure.
Okay. Yeah. There's that too. Like everyone has their own place.
But I mean, like what could you do that with like using like what you use like Flux or anything like?
Yeah, I think like you could do everything you do. The only thing that I think would be really difficult for you is like
Because I also don't sleep 8 hours a day.
Well, that's what I was going to. Like, I don't think blue light by itself is ever good, but I see and I've like witnessed the enjoyment you get from like you being on your computer and stuff like that. But like when it's most detrimental is after sunset.
Yeah, I'm on my computer all the way.
Yeah.
I don't even know sometimes like I don't even know it's nighttime already.
I remember those fucking days, bro. Like, I would wake up to piss, I would hear you like scream like fucking shit, and I'm like, and then you would hear me, and you'd be like, yo, what fucking time is it, or I don't know, something like that. But I feel like you could do everything you do within a window of time that doesn't fuck with you in the long run.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it's the blue light that is. I mean, I need to start doing more cardiovascular exercises. You know, sleeping earlier, and you know, getting 8 hours of sleep, stuff like that. Like,
you know what? I think it is a blue light, and you won't believe me. And I know you said you didn't want to hear it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Blue light also depletes dopamine levels, like blue light by itself, and I also feel like that's where a lot of the tech. I don't want to say abuse, but tech dependency for a lot of people comes from. Like that constant blue light depleting dopamine levels.
But what if I feel good about mowing my lawn?
Then mow your lawn?
Like, I like to do things outside still too, you know? Or like, I still feel happy, you know, that when I do and achieve things or whatever, like, you know, isn't that what... I mean, that's what dopamine is, right? Like, it's a reward system.
Yeah, 100%. But like, for example, I don't want to compare it, but like, maybe you wouldn't find as much enjoyment as you do right now, maybe. Or maybe you could find enjoyment in other activities or other...
But maybe I'm not really on my computer that much. I don't know.
Elaborate.
Like, I think about it, and I work from home a lot. And to be fair, I might not sleep for 8 hours, but I probably do get 8 hours because I always sleep some point, like a lot, like even in the middle of the day. So like, you know, I don't know. I feel like maybe I overestimate. I guess it's like kind of like when you don't do.
Answer your mother, bro. Throw her.
Nah.
Special guest.
I don't know what she's gonna talk about. Because my dad was in an accident and stuff too recently.
Recently?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay, but it was pretty bad.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's good. Anyway, it's like calorie tracking. I don't keep track of it.
Fuck calorie tracking, bro.
But I mean, it's still like a way to gauge yourself and how much you're eating and you're not eating, right?
I mean,
like,
it can be a tool for people. I'm not.
I mean, and I'm sure you track how much you sleep.
I used to, not anymore.
You don't do it anymore? No. Okay. But like that would be a way to kind of gauge of like what you're actually doing with your time, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't do that. So like I can't tell you like I couldn't tell you how much time I spent on the blue light, or I couldn't tell you how much like to be realistic. Like maybe I don't. Maybe it's like, oh, you're within the, I don't know what the margins would be, but maybe it'd be like, oh, you're less than average on most people on the blue light or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I love how your brain goes immediately to like quantifying things. It's like very, very, very analytical. But like for example, for sleep, it's not even about quantity as it is quality, because there's hormonal responses that happen at certain periods that are tied to the like cycle of light and darkness. So like even if you get 8 hours, like let's say
it's not gonna be a good 8 hours.
Yeah, from 4 a.m. to like 12.
Yeah.
It's still like not. And for example,
but what you're talking about is like you're running your body at an optimal level.
But are just like avoiding disease. Like so many people that like go through like, and so from my neck of the woods, like the community that I'm in, there's a lot of research, and I can send it to you so you can like research, or if you're interested, because I know you'll find like, oh, this, that, like in a sense that you'll analyze it. You just won't take it at face value, and that'll help me learn. But there's a lot of like studies that not that it's causation, but there's correlation between mitochondrial dysfunction and a lot of chronic disease.
Oh, okay. I don't care anymore. Just kidding. You keep talking about the mitochondria, dude, and I was just like...
Because that's the essence of life, bro.
It really is, but it's only essence of life for one cell, one particular cell.
But each cell has its own function that if it's not able to carry through, that's when the whole system starts failing.
Right. But cells replicate.
And they can replicate like... I mean... tumors and cancers essentially cells like over replicating.
Yeah. But would you believe? Okay.
Talk to me.
So I know you got all that. I mean, I have to look at that because that's just like.
You haven't even let me finish talking about fucking UV and blue light. Go ahead.
but that's like, I'm telling you, all light sources have all that. You can manipulate them to do all that thing, all those things.
But you, for example, you.
I mean, you just talked about how these guys made. I just like book. That's why I started pointing at it. What is that shit called? Circadian?
Yeah, circadian friendly light bulbs.
Yeah. So there's circadian friendly light bulbs.
But it still doesn't compare to the real thing.
Obviously. No. Or, I mean, your comparison to the real thing. But yeah.
No. Nature's comparison to it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like...
But you're, like, for example, to counterattack that... Not attack, I'm not attacking you. That was very aggressive. Like, for example, in your phone... Or in...
I'm never on my phone.
Well, your TV, your computer.
I'm never on the TV.
Your computer.
I'm always on the computer.
You can't replicate that natural increase and natural decrease of blue light and sunlight. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
But then why do you do it?
What do you mean?
Why do you have increase and decrease of blue light on your monitor?
No, it's completely decreased. Like, it's completely...
So, like, you're saying those light sources have no blue light whatsoever at this point?
No, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's actually...
Because you can't do it.
No, there's a computer that emits no blue light.
It would be impossible.
I promise you. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'm trying... I forget the name.
Is it a monitor or a computer?
No, it's a computer.
Oh, that's
I'll check out the name.
Computer.
Fuck you. Yeah. I like having this conversation with you because I know you're a non-believer. It's called Daylight Company. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I should start, like I was telling Jorge, I should start getting into like all these making blue lights or whatever.
You should.
Yeah. I won't believe in it, but like I told him.
Like, you asked why is it so important for me? Like, I don't know how deep you want to go into it, and we can switch it elsewhere. Like, when I learned about the effects of just natural light, like for example UV light, turning amino acids into neurotransmitters. Talk to me.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about blue light, but like you make it sound like blue light is the issue to all things human.
I think it's the biggest issue.
Blue light.
Blue light.
But like all these diseases have existed for years.
How long?
Many years. Since the beginning of humanity.
Like chronic disease?
Yeah.
I would argue with
the indicators point to diet rather than blue light.
I disagree with it. But
I mean, you're talking about something that doesn't like. Okay, let's talk about, let's say, cardiovascular disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a country like, let's do like, I mean, for sure America, right? You'll do a comparison to America. To, let's say, North Korea.
Okay.
Would you say North Korea is healthier than America?
I don't have any information to make an argument.
But you would assume that North Koreans don't have a lot of access to artificial light.
I disagree with it.
What do you mean?
Like,
North Koreans...
Do they go to school?
Yeah, I'm sure they go to school.
I'm sure, like, they're on their LED lighting at school.
North Koreans?
Unless it's like an open school or...
Okay, so let me like give you some context here. Why I picked North Korea is because if you ever look at the map of North Korea at night, they have no lights on.
Okay.
So, like, would you consider them to be a healthier country?
So if what you're saying is true, I would say that I would almost bet, I can't because I don't know the information, but their rates of like prostate cancer, breast cancer are going to be way lower than ours.
Okay. No, I was curious of what you thought about that.
Yeah, maybe they're malnourished. So
I was trying to think of another country that has very minimal light sources at night. Like, and North Korea is probably the best one because they literally have no electricity, in a lot of the areas they live in.
There's a lot of research or studies that I've come across where like there's a big correlation between artificial light at night and disease. Like,
so is there a country that you know of that has much less artificial light than America?
Underdeveloped countries.
Yeah, and well, is there one where like there's less prostate and breast cancer than America, or that you know of, or
I have a book, but there were African countries. They were all underdeveloped, but yeah, like prostate and breast cancer is almost non-existent.
Okay, but you do know like you could get it even if you abstain from blue light all the time. I
mean, I feel like your chances are substantially less. And that's what I think. I come across this a lot. Like, I feel like people view these chronic diseases as like chance or genetics, which it does play.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a much higher influence than we like to think.
Okay. So you think blue light is definitely like the number one primary cause of health issues?
I think yes, the combination of blue light and lack of natural light.
Okay. I mean, I would definitely love to see like a city, like maybe let's say Austin, where they just put candles up in every light post instead of light, but still keep the McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
I'm sure it wouldn't be perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of things.
I mean, I think I think it would be the same.
I would love to. Let's do an experiment.
And it's not because of the blue light. It's just because of what Americans become, like in terms of what is the word that you call it with
No, don't listen to this guy.
What did you say, Rita?
The R word.
Retard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just a bunch of retards. Yeah, they are retards. There's a lot of retards. I say it all the time. The word I'm looking for is when you don't do something.
Mm.
When you're just sitting down a lot.
Like you procrastinate?
No, not procrastination. It's like when you're just sitting and you don't do anything.
Sedentary?
Sedentary, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The sedentary lifestyles of Americans, I think, is which I would believe would be the primary cause for all the conditions Americans are facing today.
Sedentary?
Sedentary lifestyles, yeah.
I respect your very wrong opinion.
But these are like, here's the thing.
I get where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing is that, like, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible for it to be blue light. It could be. But if I'm going to visually observe something, you can't observe blue light. It'll have to be studied for sure.
Well, with a spectrometer, you can.
No, what I meant is, like, you can't see the effects of blue light effect on somebody physically.
Physiologically, you can.
But how?
So, for example, like, you can...
Oh, you're talking about, like, the hormone levels and stuff.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, I can't see that. I would have to give you a blood test, you know?
Well, yeah.
But if I see someone sitting down 20 hours a day drinking, 10 Pepsis and shit, that's not even a hard jump. I could be like, that guy needs to fucking change his life or he's going to fucking die.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously sedentary, like, our food supply, our food choices influence it, our sedentary lifestyle influences it, but I very confidently say that falls below our light environment.
But aren't there people out there that I'm sure, like, are very healthy, but are probably always constantly on their phones or...
But look at bodybuilders, bro. Bodybuilders spend 2 to 3 hours a day under blue light in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you know more than me probably, but like the non-native EMF from Bluetooth and all that stuff, like there's bodybuilders that are fit dying from heart attacks at 30 years old, bro.
That's because of the steroids, bro.
Oh, bless you. Partly,
yeah.
But I also would argue that's their environment.
I think it's kind of like an Occam's razor is what you call it, where you pick the simplest explanation, and I think that there's very much simpler explanations than blue light.
I think that's a disservice. I agree with that. And that's how I started my journey. It was like, oh, let me be a personal trainer because people need to move more. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me get nutrition coaches.
And sorry, but I want to know, so maybe it's something I do. How long would you say that to kind of try to mitigate as much blue light in my life? Like how fast do you think I could feel results?
I feel like the longer you've been living that lifestyle, the longer it's going to take. But you're young.
Ish, yeah.
I'm hesitant because I lived with you and I know how fucked up you're, like...
But I mean, I could get a blue light monitor.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, there's monitors that, reduce the blue light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what my head goes to, like from when I lived with you, is...
Sleep.
Your sleep, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And also being outdoors more. I don't know how...
I mean, I go outdoors a lot more now, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It does... I mean, I'm a strong believer in it too, but that again goes back to the sedentary lifestyle stuff that I'll talk about. But being outside and moving around and it increases your your dopamine and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
100%. But like for example, have you ever heard the hormone leptin?
No.
Okay.
Well, it sounds familiar, but maybe you explain it to me.
So leptin is produced by our fat cells.
Yeah. You're talking about like a lipid cell?
No.
Oh.
No. Lipid is like fats.
Yeah.
No. Leptin is produced by our fat cells, and it communicates with the hypothalamus. So based on how many fat cells you have or how much fat you have, your body communicates to the brain like, hey, this is our fat storage, this is our activity, this is how much food we need to eat for survival.
Right.
So the thing with leptin is that most of the communication happens during like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. when we should be resting and sleeping.
Right.
When
that's why you don't eat at those times, I'm assuming.
Yeah, or after sunset.
Yeah.
Also because our digestive
starts
system,
slowing down.
Yeah. Circadian rhythm.
Right.
But when our sleep is interrupted, that communication between leptin and the brain becomes fucked up. So there's this thing called leptin resistance, where you're producing more fat cells, so you're producing more leptin. Am I boring you? Sorry for giving you this.
No, that's my mom's texting me.
But no, if you need a reply, bro, go ahead.
She just said to call her, so she's just probably gonna ask me a question.
We can wrap it up.
No, yeah, I mean, just continue. It's fine.
So that the more leptin you produce, like your brain is not assimilating or receiving, so it starts like blocking it out, and then I say this because then your hunger cues and your like appetite drastically increases.
Yeah.
And all of that goes back to your light environment.
Yeah. You know what can destroy all that?
What?
GLP-1 medication. Shout out to GLP-1 producers that
Fucking
right.
fucked her. You fucked her. I'm glad you're joking because I was about to. But do you have an argument for it?
No. I mean, I think that what you're talking about. I mean,
you're making me so mad.
Shout out to Drake for his Ozempic prescription. No, but I think that running the body at like what you're saying, you know, it's probably. I mean, but the thing is that I don't know, man. I feel like you're just a beast at that level. Like, I feel like because you're very in tune with your body and you know wanting to be, in a sense, perfect with everything. Like, I don't know. Are you like that too, Diego, or like with
Ozempic?
No, with like
You're gonna drink.
with like the ability to, I guess, you know, sleep 8 hours, be there, like disciplined, like you know, from light, I guess, and stuff like that. Or
No, this guy doesn't give a fuck.
No, don't say I don't give a fuck. If not, I wouldn't be wearing these. But fuck you. The word I would use is I'm not as drastic as he is.
Yeah.
For me, like,
But you'd have to be drastic like that to.
What you consider drastic is like what was natural for our.
It wasn't natural.
For our great grandparents, yes, bro. Like, when was LED light? Like, when were LED light bulbs invented?
What I'm saying is that, depending on the culture you were from, you know, they had different. Wake up, sleep times, whatever.
But think before like LED light or even incandescent light.
Well, I'm thinking back, like I'm just going to like the 1700s, for instance, to say.
Yeah, even though like once the sun sets, like you're gonna turn on a candle.
Right.
So it's like, how long are you gonna stay awake doing shit with a candle? Like you're gonna go to sleep pretty fucking early.
I think you're right. I think there's not a lot of things to drive your. Yeah. I think you have no choice, right? I guess you could be. Yeah.
Oh, pretty much right now.
Dude, the worst part is they're probably doing it right in front of their 3 kids in the same room.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't see, go for it.
No, they're hearing. No.
They go behind the rock.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point. Like,
I think that was a very good point. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And it goes, I guess.
What can you do? It's nighttime. It's meant to, you're meant to fall asleep.
And that's what I was talking about, like optimizing that window. Because right now we're so disconnected and disassociated and alienated from like those natural cycles. So we can do whatever the fuck we want at whatever time. That doesn't mean like it doesn't come with consequences.
Well,
and
that's the right thing to do.
And I think that's what people don't understand. And to tie it all together, like our food source is no longer natural. Like we're monocropping, we're importing and exporting from all places.
Yeah.
Our light environment, our movement, like just how you said, like people didn't work to live.
Right.
Like people were like as part of their life moving shit, picking up shit.
Yeah.
Shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
hunting, walking, yeah.
To your point, like yes, everything plays into it, but I do think our light environment trumps all.
Trump.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't. I mean, I kind of can agree that maybe there. I mean, because like I don't. I guess I'm not convinced. Only because I understand what you're trying to say, but I think that there's bigger issues than light for me.
I get that.
Yeah.
I thought like that for most of my life too. Well, not most of my life, but like.
Because even if we were to say, let's take all these houses away, but like some guy's still doing the same thing, like kings, right? Let's take a king from like the 1300s who would just eat, who would be like fatter than his population. He'd be, you know, the same. He had gout or some coronary disease or stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like less likely, but still.
But also in those times, all the royal families were incest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Also retarded.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But for example,
Regarded,
yeah.
they're regarded.
What was I gonna say? I do feel like the hormonal response that comes from your light environment elicits more movement, like better food choices. So that's also why I think that's the best place to start. But I'm glad we're having this conversation because this is a pushback I hear most of the time. Because people are like suffering through a lot of things. It's like, no, it's my food, it's my exercise. It's like, motherfucker, you've been on 20 fucking diets, you've gone on 10 exercise programs. Mm-hmm. Like, when are you gonna realize that there's other things that are affecting you? That's been my experience.
But the thing is that I feel when people are going on diets or exercise programs, they don't continue doing it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because people are fucking lazy.
Do you think it's that?
Yes.
Like, for example, when you get hungry or when you crave something, what do you think it is?
Shout out to Drake for the Ozempic.
Fuck Drake. He actually asked us to be on this podcast and we said no.
Yeah, we said no.
We stick with Kendrick.
Yeah, we don't agree with GLP-1 medications.
Or minors.
But however, at some point in the future, everyone will probably be on it. So.
And they're going to suffer the consequences, unfortunately.
Well, you think there's consequences for GLP-1 on it?
I do think so.
Yeah. I don't think so.
No?
No. I think that everyone's going to be on it. It's probably going to be a healthier America.
Are you fucking...
I'm serious.
Are you?
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
Yeah. I think I mean, at this point, what, 9% of Americans are taking GLP-1 medication?
Are they?
Yeah.
That's fucking sad.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's 9% now.
RFK is going to change that.
But then, dude, if he takes it away, I'm telling you, like, people are not going
to... No, but I don't think he would take it away.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, like I said,
So why do you think you get, like, when you get hungry, you get cravings, like...
Oh, for me, I mean, there's probably multiple reasons. I mean, dude, like, what's just crazy is that, like, I don't know. I like to eat once a day.
Once a day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I like to do. But I eat a lot when
we lived in the apartment, like, he would buy meals from us for being our day one customer. Like, at nighttime, he would get, like, 3 plates, heat them up, and then eat that one meal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That's how I still eat.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's because... So, when I joined Hamas... not just kidding.
Oh, God.
Bro's trying to get me canceled on
No, just kidding. But, no, that's how I only eat one meal. And, so I don't get hungry until, like, 24 hours or something like that. Yeah.
I would just say, like, if you have any interest...
you know what I do need to stop drinking, though? Diet Cokes and shit.
On the way here, my mom was asking me, like, every time I visit your apartment, like, Adrian always had, like, a bunch of sodas, right? And, like, yeah, he was into that shit.
Yeah. Diet sodas.
Why do you drink diet soda over regular soda?
Well, because my dad is diabetic, and my mom too, and I was just like, fuck that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue being on this drum. Like, since blue light spikes cortisol levels.
But see, the thing is, my dad was like, oh, and I guess I don't know. My dad was always a healthy guy when he was younger, and my mom too. But all of a sudden, they just became very like. And my dad's very active outside. He's always like been like working or carpentry or painting or whatever. So it's always been very weird. Like,
when would you say your dad's health like?
Oh, well, that's funny though, is because he became diabetic when he had the brain tumor.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because there was his brain was not sending messages to his body to effectively like lower his blood sugar or even his like sodium levels and stuff like that. So yeah, his blood pressure was jumping up too and everything.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, for example, blue light spiking cortisol levels, that spikes your blood sugar levels. So like even the environment in which you're eating can have a drastic effect on how your body digests it or like absorbs it.
But what about if you just overloaded it on like carbohydrates?
Yeah, you're still gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
but I'll do it in the dark.
Better. You can still do better, but that's a step in the right direction. As long as it's not processed foods.
No, that's too late for that.
I don't want to take too much of your time. Is there anything you want to wrap up with?
I did want to bring up one thing from Diego about the. I know he mentioned it last time on the other episode about the build a wall thing that he got told it.
Uh-huh.
That happened to me once in Georgetown, where I was working.
Like Georgetown.
Yeah, here in Austin. Yeah, I used to work at Georgetown, the city of Georgetown. And this lady, I was working on a computer, and I just heard like, hello, hello. I was like, the fuck? Like, I'm probably not talking to me. And I'm just working on a computer, and she's like, oh, I just hear, hola, hola, can you understand me? Dude, I felt what he felt, like, just like, dude, I'm about to slap this bitch, bro. I was like, no fucking way she just said that shit to me. Like, I was so pissed. I've never had an experience like that in my life, dude.
Was she Anglo?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, dude. She was.
Well, I mean, you'd be surprised.
Like, I was like, yeah? She's like, I need your help. Like, on my computer and all this shit. And I was like, bitch, I ain't gonna fucking help you. I was like, yeah, let me just use the restroom fast. And I never came back there. But, yeah, dude.
Hey, see, dickhead?
But, okay, do you like, put all that responsibility on one person? Or, do you, like, is it the fact that there's just fucked up people, racist people?
Well, the thing is that I thought, okay, one time, whatever. But I think that because of the messaging and stuff like that, that it's very common for people just to be like fuck off, beaner type shit.
What messaging specifically?
No, just like, just villainizing people from Mexico, like that the illegal immigrants are the issue in America, like, and if mostly, coming down from Mexico basically. And, just the vitriol, like demeaning, like they come here to take your jobs, they come here to like not paying taxes, they come here, they commit crimes, like, and it's just like emboldens people who already hate these people. And I'm not saying that everyone hates, Mexicans, but like the people who already hated them, they're probably like, oh fuck yeah, this is the shit I want to hear, like you can't tell me that's not happening, right? Like,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Do you think it's like the bigger issue is like, not that it's taken out of context, but clips specifically designed to like target those people?
Clips?
Yeah, like for example, when you're
talking about like the mainstream media that's causing all these issues.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why the fuck? What did they clip in? Like the dude said it.
I mean, he said like the illegal immigrants that are coming aren't the best people.
I understand one of those clips, but I'm just saying, like, he said it time and time. There's many more clips, bro. Okay. It's not like he's only said it once and then, like, oh, they took it out of context and then, like, keeps going on and saying, we're going to build that wall.
Free throws at
that fucking paper towel free throws at Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, you better shut the fuck up.
I mean, I don't condone that, but just to be an asshole, I would play devil's advocate, but I don't want people to think that.
Honestly, though, that made me laugh.
Yeah, but right? It's funny.
It is funny, but like, it was like, dude, what the fuck? You're the president, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I know. But put yourself in the Puerto Rican shoes.
Step back. 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you see the follow through?
He airballed that.
That was Curry-esque, bro. No, I'm joking. Obviously, as a Puerto Rican, I'd be like, what the fuck? But again, I feel like that's
they're not even. Those are not even legal. The people from Puerto Rico can come to America anytime they want.
Exactly.
They don't need a passport. They don't need a passport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, it's fine to fucking throw paper towels at them. Like, you're shooting threes when they, like, don't have electricity, are flooded.
In the grand scheme of things, what difference does it make if he goes like that, if he goes like that?
Respect.
Agree to disagree.
Obama would never.
Fuck Obama, man. Fuck
Yeah.
that bullshit.
Fuck you.
Did you vote this election?
Yeah.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what made you vote for one side over the other? Like, what points were important to you?
Well, the point that was very important to me was one person that I knew, if they lost, would say congratulations on being the president, versus another person who would not congratulate the other person for being president.
The same person that wasn't fucking even elected?
What do you mean?
Did you nominate that person as the representative for your party?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes, by
How so?
voting for Joe Biden,
Yes, you voted for Joe Biden.
who put Kamala Harris as his vice president.
Yes, but
And that's who you pick for president. Because if Biden was to die,
yeah, 100%.
Kamala would be the president. So you're basically, it was a package deal, dude. I mean, that's how it's always been. Like, that's why you vote. That's why VPs are very important. Why the fuck would they pick VPs then? Like, before they run.
So VP's only purpose is to like
Like,
fill
if Joe
in-
Biden ran again and he took, instead of, let's say he picked Hillary Clinton as his VP, you think people would vote for Joe Biden?
No,
Yeah.
they would.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, they wouldn't vote. Because
They
everyone
don't-
hates Hillary Clinton.
but don't you think it's fucked that like she was just placed in there?
I don't think it's fucked at all, because I think she would have won the primary anyway. In my
You
opinion.
think so?
Yeah. Yeah. But it would have helped her, I think, because there would have already been people voting for the primary and voting for Kamala, who was probably would have been endorsed by the DNC already anyway. Like, everyone would throw money at her, and it would have helped her, like, you know, gain momentum into the election. That would have helped her a lot, I think.
Why do you think she didn't win?
Well, I think she didn't win because I think, in my opinion, I think the economy is just shit right now for a lot of people. And they're looking for answers. People are looking for answers. And I guess whatever Kamala said just wasn't enough, like, to convince them.
These last 4 years, do you think it was what she said, or like how the last 4 years have been?
I think the last 4 years have been pretty great for me.
For you, motherfucker.
Yeah, for me, personally. So, yeah, I think that when people say, when they want Trump, it's more of like what they want rather than what everyone else gets.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wait. Okay. No. Finish.
and I think that,
No, interrupt him, bro. He's interrupting me like 20 times.
it's true, I have interrupted him. But I think that, I've been doing great. So, like, I can kind of feel like, how people don't want to change anything. For me, at least.
Are you gonna ask?
Yeah. You said for you, motherfucker. Like saying it was bad for you.
Right.
I was joking, but yeah, go ahead.
Were you joking?
I mean, to me, it's made no difference in that sense, or at least I haven't noticed who's president.
So then.
Yeah, because for you, motherfucker, like, he made more money. Well, we didn't live together, but he made more money than me when Trump was president. He made more money with me than when Biden was president. So I was like, yeah, you're doing fucking great.
But you're saying like if Biden was a problem.
I never said that. You're reaching, bro. You're reaching. You're reaching. Stop it. The things that you wanted to address, did you ask everything? Because I do have a question for you.
Yeah, it was just RK stuff mostly, and you addressed that, and I told you that it was never going to change. But yeah, in summary,
Pessimistic motherfucker.
it's not pessimism. I guess for an optimistic point of view, if you'd like, maybe technology at some point could change all that.
Fuck your technology.
What the fuck?
Fuck
What do you
your
mean?
building.
Being able to farm automated, kind of like in your backyard, just have things do everything automatically for you or whatever.
Just make us more sedentary.
I understand that, but it makes it easier for people to, like farmers, to grow their plants the way they want them to be grown,
It would also take...
Like, for instance, pesticides, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if there was like a technology that evolved from like, I don't know, I'm just going to spitball here and just invent something like,
I'll make sure to clip this part to like, look at what this idiot was saying.
like, let's say like, there's like, I don't know, like a bug gun, and it just when they come, it zaps the shit out of them, right? Just that's a technology advancement that would no longer require chemicals to be put on plants that could still, that'll grow a plant. They'd have plants now. No more pests.
As soon as you said bug gun, it reminded me of the salt gun that you mentioned.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Adrian's the type of guy that we had fly problems, and he bought a salt gun to kill those motherfuckers. But I think the more we rely on technology, just the more we lose our essence. So I'm sure it makes things easier. But like,
but you're fighting a losing battle on that one.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Seems to be that way, but we gotta keep fighting.
No.
Yes.
You have to give up at some point.
No, bro.
Dude, shit, there'll probably be a point where like there won't even be soccer players anymore. It'll be like robots and shit kicking the ball around.
Nike did a commercial about that one.
Who?
Nike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From your perspective, I feel like I lived with you. You're a badass guy. You're really fucking smart. You're super nice to everyone. Like, you don't have issues with anyone. You stand up for yourself, so you're not like you. It's not like people push you around, but you're fucking nice. You're very emotionally like intelligent and aware. You make very good money. You have everything you want. What for you? Like, how did you tap into or break into that place where not a lot of people get to be?
It's to be honest with you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's alright. It's actually crazy. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but the Japanese philosophy helped me.
The ego.
So I don't know if you know this, but something about Americans that is like just pisses me off is how special they all think they are. Like, it just annoys me. Whereas Japanese people, they don't believe that. They believe when they're born, they are a cog in the machine that is Japan. That's what they live for. We are all separate pieces, but at the end of the day, it's to drive Japan forward and not, my life. And so that's kind of like, and it sounds very pessimistic, or nihilistic, but once I read and I realized a lot about, and this is Koreans too, and Chinese as well, basically Asian cultures. Once I got more into depth into learning about that, everything just kind of fell into place, easier for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Just not knowing, why decline job offers? Just get more, or just don't try to be better, than someone else. I guess you said, ego driven kind of in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the emotional awareness and you're also very splendid in the sense you like to give, you take care of your people.
Yeah, altruistic. Yeah.
What's that?
Altruistic.
Okay, Mr. Big Words.
No, that's what it's called. It's called altruism.
Altruism.
Yeah,
Where does that
I think.
come from?
Huh?
Where does that come from?
Actually, that came off from Napoleon and stuff. Kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Giving to people?
Yeah. I think.
You met him?
Huh?
You met him?
I didn't meet him. Oh, meet him? No, I wish I met him. He was. He's I'm not saying he's a hero of mine, but he's definitely an inspiration that I draw from.
Short Kings.
Huh?
Short Kings.
Short Kings, yeah.
But what about him?
But just his ability to, the dude almost conquered the world, bro. Just based off diplomacy alone. He had the military strategies and stuff, and he was great at that. But his ability to give to kind of unite people together is what. If you ever read his autobiographies and stuff, that's kind of what he points it to being, his altruistic tendencies to do things without actually asking for things in return, and that just develops a relationship that's better than having leverage over somebody. Because at the end of the day, if you go into things like that where you're oh, I want to meet this guy so I can so he owes me kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be backlash after a while. It's gonna be a cycle of revenge kind of thing.
Okay.
Deal, yeah. So.
At what age did you come across those teachings?
Oh, dude, I was 16.
Oh shit.
When I was reading Napoleonic books. Yeah.
And did you apply it right away?
No.
No.
Nah. At first, I read them because they were interesting. I wanted to know more about the military history of France during that time, during the French Revolution, and then, yeah, after a while, I started. Once I learned more about it, I started applying them. Maybe when I was like 26, 25.
The French are a sore spot for
Yeah,
my buddy.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Last question. What do you think it is that like? Not that it's necessary, but like for someone to influence you like that. Obviously, he's one of the like biggest military leaders.
Yeah.
But like, what is it that you're like? Oh, this I like. This I'm gonna play because we're bombarded with information from all sources.
Yeah.
What leads you to say I'm gonna take this? I'm gonna discard that.
I think it's like kind of like how you are in a way with drag crews, right?
Yes, because that's exactly where my head went to.
Yeah, because I think that guy for you is someone that you've come to. It is biased, right? It's,
100%.
You know, and it's some guy you listen to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he tells you to read this book and you read that book and you're like, damn, okay. There's a guy. The writer for me is Bernard Cornwell.
Okay.
That's the guy who basically, I would say, developed my life, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
What about him or his teachings?
Well, he just applies what is historical. He calls it historical fiction. I mean, it is a genre of book, but like he applies his own stories and dramas to like historical events. So let's say, for instance, the Viking invasion of England, like in the 900s, AD. He'll put in a character that he made himself with like, you know, various personalities or whatever, and like events happen to him that are happening historically that impact this person, right? And so like that helped me develop like kind of like a first-hand experience without actually having to be there.
Okay.
And then just, you know, the way they would act, right? Like they act, I mean, you read it and you're like, dude, that's just like sounds like a normal person today, right? Like it does nothing has even changed so much, like where humans have always acted like humans type of deal. But yeah, he every book he's recommended to me, like not like, hey Adrian, what's up, but like yeah, like you know, in his forewords or in the back of the books or whatever, like he's like, hey, you guys need to read this book, whatever. Yeah, those just help him develop.
What's his name again?
Bernard Cornwell.
Bernard Cornwell.
Yeah, he's from Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, he's he if you ever told me to like go fucking fight a war for him, I'd be the, you know, his fucking sergeant.
That's so badass that you say that, because I feel like I get highly inspired and influenced by like a certain person, and I'm willing to like embark on like, for obviously not because like, oh, I'll follow you leader to, but like I see something in them that if I learn, I can help other people.
Right.
But I feel like people are very closed off to that idea or pessimistic, especially very intellectual people like you.
Right.
But to know that like you have your sources where you like just are an open book or a student.
Right. Yeah.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah. And like going back to what we were talking about at the beginning before we weren't even talking on the podcast, but like the how it's the book that's Artists Don't Starve that I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a philosophy idea. It's not just about artists. It's just about anybody in general, you know. You need to start learning how to collab, you know, learning how to, like, market yourself to a wider audience and stuff like that to help you, right? You know, so, yeah, like, that's another, you know, type of philosophy for sure. Yeah.
I don't know if you think I'm, like, reaching, but I feel like with social media and so much business going through social media, at least for some of us, I know not you, but like everyone has to portray that they're a leader. Like you have to come across as an expert and I know this and I know that. So you hire me over someone else. And I feel like being a student or learning is kind of slowly being a lost art.
I think you're right. But I think that's more of like an influencer type of vibe thing going on there. But yeah, like because you have to be, dude. Like in order to, if you're gonna live on the social media space, you can't be like, hey, I'm the you know, protege of, you know, whatever. Like no one's gonna be like, what? I just go to the guy who's for real, right? So like, yeah, like I see just and then social media is just like we're not evolved for it. I don't know. I think I talked to you about it before, but like there's a paper in a study about how like humans are basically not evolve for the amount of information that they receive.
Information and interactions.
Right.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Like it's way too much for humans to even adapt to.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's crazy. Like there's no way. Yeah. Because back in the day, you get like talking about tribalism and stuff, and I think Diego brought it up on the last episode about like he's like, oh, I just hate how like politicians divide people left and right or whatever. But it's not even that they do it, dude. That's just how humans have always been. So it's like, like you had your little tribe there, and you had the other little tribe, and yeah, they would interact or whatever, but they never. If that other tribe would never come in and try to say, you guys can do this, and they're going to be like, hell fucking no, right? Yeah, so like, but it's crazy is that, like on social media, like the bubbles are huge. And like, yeah, dude, like it's affecting the world pretty much, yeah.
With all that knowledge you have about like tribalism and like history and stuff like that, is it ever appealing to you to like kind of try to live more? I know it's nearly impossible.
Like caveman style type of way.
No,
but I
like,
know what you're saying.
But like, let's say like
paleo is what they call it.
Or no, like we link up, and it's like I'm good at this, you're good at that. Like we have
compound living.
Yeah, we have our community or stuff like that, and just build shit, do shit. Fuck each other.
It's actually
orgies. No, not that.
Like, and then we judge chicks that come in, and like Diego be the judge, and like, all right, she can't come in, she can though.
Bouncer at a club type of vibe.
I'm done. No, but I have thought about stuff like that, like compound living, where you can, where you're with someone that of like-mindedness in a way. To basically build like your own little community. That'd be cool.
Coexist.
Huh?
Coexist. Yeah. Like.
Coexist. Yeah. Sorry, the headphones make it sound like you're saying something else. But yeah.
It's not the headphones.
Huh? Yes, it is.
No, I'm joking. No, coexist. Touch on it.
This motherfucker is like, he's about to slap the shit out of you. Yeah, coexist, man. Yeah. For sure. I think that'd be great. I think that's a cool idea. The only thing is you need fucking all this money. Yeah, it's an experiment that if it fails, it could cost livelihoods. So
there's a lot on the line.
Yeah, I wish we were all like Elon Musk, where he's like, oh, I'm moving all the mothers into my compound.
It did it?
Yeah.
Really?
All 6 moms or whatever, they're all living together. Yeah.
I didn't know you had
here in Austin. He bought. Really? Yeah.
Fuck.
And all the kids.
Baby mamas?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're all living together in a compound. I was like, that's kind of weird, but yeah.
I mean, kudos to him. I can't handle one woman. I don't know
why. Wait, you can't either. That's why you locked the balls up.
I just feel like their periods are going to sync up and they're going to start joining forces. I don't know.
What are they going to do, bro? He's probably have like security. It's not to keep you out. It's to keep you in or something like that.
Bro, I want to be mindful of your time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know you.
It's a pretty long episode anyway.
Yeah. So
many conversations.
I'm gonna commit you to whenever you have a chance. I want you to come back.
You know what? Yeah, that'd be cool. Cause like I guess we just had a lot to talk about. That's why it's pretty long. But I just want to say that.
But I feel like even within this episode, because we wanted to talk about like your opposing views and it led to all these things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we just scratched the surface of what I know you to be or who I know to be, and I feel like it'd be worth it for people to like hear a lot of your ideas and just your experiences. For me, they've been very entertaining. They've been very insightful. So I would love, if you're open to it, to like just have you on and have you to share more.
Yeah, for sure. It was fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
I mean, I probably should ask you off air, but
I kind of want to talk more about like maybe next time, but like definitely get more into like soccer and stuff like that.
When do you come back?
Next week.
Okay, let's set a date and we'll talk about more like.
Cause like it'd be cool to talk about like analytics in soccer or something like that, or like how we mentioned we were talking about like
the biomechanics,
machine learning and the way you kick, like the angles and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, there's so many topics that you can like dive into, and I think that's very entertaining and insightful. So to wrap it up, Bo, I want to thank you not only for your time, but every time I get to talk to you, I learn a lot, I laugh a lot, and
I didn't learn shit.
I get very... Because you didn't watch it, bro. Because you interrupted me 20 fucking times. But I know you did live with some stuff that you're going to research. And you're either going to be like, bro, that's bullshit. Or like, hey, you were right. But, yeah, like I said, every time I interact with you, I learn a lot, I laugh a lot, and I'm very sexually aroused.
Yeah.
And that's the effect you've had on me ever since I've met you. So I want to thank you.
Yeah. And I will say, if you voted for Trump for RFK Jr., nothing's going to happen. But thank you.
But we can believe.
But you can believe. If you believed Mike Tyson could have been Jake Paul last night, then you could believe that RFK Jr. is going to change the food industry.
Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Close fight at all or no?
No, it was terrible. The dude's 58 years old, bro. I was like, they need to put this guy in his walker, bro. You know he left in a wheelchair?
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, did he get paid good?
Oh, yeah.
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 Because I heard that, like, Jake Paul made way more.
Oh, yeah, because he's the lead. Yeah.
Well, we'll save more topic of conversation for the next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you and I love you.
I don't.
And as soon as you come back, we'll set the date.
All right. Sounds
See you,
good.
bro. Peace.
Later.
Are you gonna watch the John Jones fight?
Is that happening today?
Yeah.
People fucking hate that guy right now, dude. It's crazy.
I
Why?
love him.
You love him?
Yeah.
People are like, some guy was like, I was with John Jones. I understood the